Solana and render update, and why I just sold some of my Solana. My name is mikemadz. Let's start. Before we start the video, please do me a huge favor. Please like, comment below. Check out my links in the description. We have a BITGET link there if you want to sign up. And of course, subscribe. Alright, jumping straight into the action today. The Solana chart right here. Last video, I was warning that it seemingly looks like we are overextended. And we were certainly overhyped here. Okay, most people were expecting too much too early, as usual in this crypto space, and altcoin liquidity is slowly fading into Bitcoin clearly, okay, with the Bitcoin dominance. So since then, we had about 11% correction. We are seemingly having here a bounce of the bull market support band, almost of Solana. I don't expect this bounce to be anything major. And as I said in my last video, I'm expecting lower prices still for Solana, okay? We are close to my first DCA level, and to enter my long position here for Solana, I will start to DCA again around the level of $22, $21 for Solana. Why? Because you have to keep in mind, I bought in heavily here around those levels. So it doesn't really make much sense for me to increase my average, increase my risk, just to increase my position size, okay? Especially if I'm expecting here to retest those lows, okay? Where are these lows? It's just speculation. I cannot tell you. I can just tell you can set up here dynamically levels where you DCA into the market more and more heavily the lower we go. Okay, some people get upset about me speaking about lower prices for Solana. Guys, it is a blessing here. Okay, it's something you need to reprogram your mind with. Lower prices for such assets that make sense and have utility are a blessing. Why? Because you can buy more of. One more thing, by the way, please ignore those drawings that I made right here. I'm simply going to keep them. So we have to see if this retest is going to be bullish or not. I personally think we are actually going to fall underneath the bull market support band one more time here before we head to new all-time highs. And this is why I actually sold a small portion of my Solana bag, which doesn't mean I'm anti-Solana and which doesn't mean I'm super bearish on Solana for the long term. It simply means I'm hedging here against the probability, which is pretty likely here, that the later half of this year is going to be bearish for the entire crypto space. Okay, so not financial advice, and things don't need to play out this way. I'm simply just hedging. You have to keep in mind, I am in the market, I have my bag. I'm actually prepared for the scenario if we're going to have a moonshot right here to new all-time highs. I'm prepared for that. But you also have to prepare for the scenario where we actually go lower here again and shake out most people before heading to the new all-time high here. Okay, looking at the historical Bitcoin monthly returns, just in order to gauge when and where this dip might happen that I'm expecting, you can clearly immediately see that August and September are not the best months for crypto. Of course, in August, we had some months here with pretty bullish monthly returns, but September clearly has a negative average. And this is the time frame I'm expecting the dump to start. Okay, August, so we are in August right now, or September. The data clearly backs up my claim, and usually the pre-halving year are half of the year bullish, half of the year bearish, which also makes sense liquidity-wise. Okay, if you look at the total market cap right now, it's not new liquidity joining the market. It's usually liquidity flowing from altcoins into Bitcoin, back into some altcoins, back into Bitcoin. We need new liquidity, and that new liquidity I think will come substantially next year, not right now. One more shakeout before we actually start heading to this real juicy highs here in the next couple of years. Okay, going over to Render. Render, one altcoin I own actually next to Solana, believe it or not. Render was, as you can clearly see here, outperforming most of the market here in crypto. Why? Because of course AI was huge. AI was new and everyone is speaking at AI and investing in anything that has to do with AI. That hype is slowly fading away, which does not mean that Render has no future and has no real utility in the future. It simply is the market. Okay, nothing goes up in a straight line, as I always say. Everything needs consolidation, and everything of course has peaks and it has corrections. For Render, things right now are not looking too good on a technical basis. Why? First of all, we are underneath its bull market support band, getting rejected here, not a good thing. And second of all, actually, we are forming a head and shoulder pattern here for Render. Head and shoulder, I'm not really a huge fan of this pattern in the crypto space, maybe in stocks. In the crypto space, it usually doesn't play out. Sometimes it does. And of course, it's a bearish pattern, which pushes the price to the downside, of course. Where the target might be, I really don't know. Of course, you can draw it out here from the head, etc. I'm not a huge fan of that. But also for Render, I'm expecting, like most altcoins, one more bigger correction before we head to new highs here in the next year. Am I still bullish on the project? Yes, absolutely. Their partnership with Apple here, even being visible in the Apple keynote, is super bullish. The project itself has utility. It makes sense with the current sentiment with the AI. So I'm still bullish. I still have my render tokens. I didn't sell any token here because my entry point was fairly decent, not the best, but decent. I'm still in profit here, and I'm expecting render to perform pretty well here in the next bull market. Right, coming to the end of the video, big disclaimer, just because I'm expecting a dump here, or I'm expecting the market to behave in a certain way, just because it happened in the past, does not mean it's gonna happen, guys. You have to keep in mind, again, I have my bag, I have my position. If we shoot higher, I'm ready, I'm good to go. If we move lower, I have a huge cash position and I'm ready to reap the benefits, okay? The data speaks for a dump, guys. That is clear, okay? If you look at the past and if you look at the macro situation, most of those things speak for one more huge shakeout before we move to new highs here after the halving, okay? So don't get it twisted, do your own research, let me know what you think below, and the most important thing, as always, be bullish on yourself no matter what, do your own research again, and of course, don't get wrecked.